Today, we have a really good story coming from Reddit. It was posted by ramosflavio. Let's get into it. I debunk unsettling online videos for a living. I run a small but loyal channel that, among other things, focuses on debunking unsettling online videos. Usually it's the noise that's a dead giveaway. You will not believe how many of these ghost sighting videos contain public domain noises. A quick search and I can tell you where most of the otherworldly noises are coming from. For videos that use slightly more sophisticated effects, such as objects moving or the like, I have to be a bit more hands-on. I download said video and meticulously go through it, frame by frame. I try to notice any signs of editing or effects, such as blurring or shadows. Even the best made hoax videos stop me for only so long before I figure out their trick. All except the latest video I was working on. I was doing some research on what video to debunk next when I stumbled upon a video titled, "Found Footage from William B. Gray Asylum." The description said that 2 college-age students went missing 15 years ago at the titular asylum, and this video was the footage from the camera covered from the search. Strangely, this was the only video from the uploader and their profile contained no info. Also, the video had been posted only a week ago, and I could not find any previous upload of this video. Intrigued, I decided to take a look. The footage was, as the description said, of 2 college-age students basically goofing around in the asylum. Aside from one of them mentioning dramatically that he had been invited to check out the asylum by quote-unquote someone, they themselves never pointed out anything creepy or weird happening to them in the entirety of the video, which was a first for me. There were no creepy sounds or any suspicious happenings in the background either, just 2 people rummaging through this derelict building. I honestly thought that either I was missing something or someone was pulling my chain, so I decided to go through the footage one more time before calling it quits. Again, it opened with one of the 2 mentioning that they had been invited to check out the asylum, but then I noticed something odd. The first time I watched the video, I saw nothing out of the ordinary. But this time, I started noticing shadows in the corner of some rooms. They did not move or anything, but there was a noticeable darkness at random corners that was hard to miss. I wrote on my notepad whenever I noticed a shadow and the timestamp. I went through it a 3rd time, and things got even weirder. This time I could not spot the shadows in the corner, but I could see shadows in the reflection of certain mirrors as the college students made their way through the asylum. I was completely weirded out. I was like, what the heck? I thought to myself, this definitely required more investigation. I figured that if this was true, there would be some record of these students going missing. A quick online search yielded no results. Thankfully, the place where this supposedly occurred was only a 2-hour drive from my home, so I decided to take a little road trip. I visited the local sheriffs and asked to speak to someone in regard to a possible missing persons case. I explained the situation to the officer, and he laughed me off. He told me I had been watching too many horror movies or something because no such thing had happened in this town. This here is one of those safest towns in America, he said. He all but shoved me out the door. Don't be wasting my time with your Blair Witch Project BS. Humiliated, but glad that I could get a confirmation the video was a hoax, I made my way to the car when I heard a hoarse voice call out behind me. "Young man," the voice said. I turned to face an older gentleman. "Yes," I said. "I didn't mean to pry, but I heard you talking to Sheriff Donovan about the asylum." "Yes, but that's a hoax, right?" I returned. "Well, I have some things to tell you if you would like to listen. Want to get some coffee at Maylene's Diner?" "It's about 5 minutes from here," I nodded and told him I would be there. I met the stranger at the diner and we both ordered some coffee. He introduced himself as Robert Smith, an ex-officer in the city PD. He did not work there anymore, and the reason would be quite obvious to anyone who laid eyes on him. He had been ravaged by cancer. His hair was as thin as his frame, and he just looked so frail. He coughed quite a bit too, a hoarse, throaty kind of cough that suggested he had a permanent lump in his throat. "Like I said, I heard you asking Sheriff Donovan about those missing kids," he stated. "Yes, you see, I saw a video that was labeled as found footage from 15 years ago, and the description said that it was 2 college students, but I could not find any news online, and the sheriff laughed me off," I replied indignantly. "Well, that's because they kept it a secret," he said matter-of-factly. My eyes grew large. You're telling me that the cops silenced an entire town? How? Why? He gave me a long, hard look, as if he was debating telling me whatever he was about to say. Why, it's simple. The college. He went on, this is a small town in the middle of nowhere. After the asylum closed down, the biggest source of income was the college. They can't have families feeling insecure about sending their bundles of joy here. If word got out that the students go missing here and we can't find them, well, that would be bad for the town. A shocked look crossed my face. How do you know all this? I asked. He looked at me and said, I used to work for the police force before the cancer. Then he leaned in and told me with some deep shame in his voice, I was the one who covered it up. One day my superiors brought me into a closed room and showed me the video of some dumb teenagers he'd found poking around the ruins of the asylum. They told me to find the students or make it go away. In the end, the only option I had was to make it go away. Anguish consumed his fragile face. I'm sorry about what I did. I really am. But morals don't put food on the table. If I let this become a scandal, it could have destroyed the whole town. He almost sobbed. I had to plant evidence. I helped convince those poor families their kids had run off. His eyes watered. And after that, I took up smoking to calm my nerves. I smoked so much, it's no wonder I'm like this. I got up, put a few bills on the table, and said, Thank you, sir, for letting me know. And as I made to leave, he said, Please, whatever you do, don't go messing with that place. It's taken enough already. I walked out without looking back. Rode back home in silence, mulling over everything Robert had said. So there really was some mysterious thing going on with that asylum. Well, like Sheriff A-Hole had said, I had watched too many horror movies, and so I did not plan to snoop into the asylum anymore. Or so I thought. Yesterday I got an anonymous email inviting me, with a +1, to the William B. Gray Asylum. The invitation is marked for tomorrow night. I know I shouldn't go, but maybe I can get some answers. Just maybe. I can get to the bottom of this mystery. And that brings us to the end of today's story. Thank you once again to ramosflavio for providing it for us. When he finishes and posts the rest of the story, we will bring the rest of it to you here on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support. Please subscribe, like, share, and post a comment. We appreciate everything that you do. Until the next one. Bye.